What's up everybody? So this is just a bit of a different video because a lot of people have asked me to well there's been a lot of questions about why I choose to have rescue animals as opposed to, I don't know, something from a breeder. So since I've actually been alone, sorry, not alone, I would say outside of my parents' house, because when I was with my parents we had one rescue. We also took cats and dogs from, you know, different people that were breeding, and we didn't really understand kind of the ethical aspect about that. When me and my wife, so when we had our first rescue, and that was a dog named Roxy. It was a little black dog. I'm going to post a picture of her here. God, I can't even tell you the amount of love that I had for that animal. And how we actually came about having that animal was that we were actually in a pub, a bar, a boozer, whatever you want to call it across the world. And there was a very drunk guy on the corner of the bar. So in England, I'm sure you have them all over the world, but in England we have kind of, you'll always see kind of one or two people that kind of, we call them like props for the bar. They're on the bar, they're there every single day, just drinking and just wasting, you know, their lives, like, you know, a lot of us do. But there was basically me, my wife, my cousin and her husband at the time, or her boyfriend, I can't remember. It was so many years ago, I can't remember. But anyway, he was drunk and he got into some conversation with some guy, and we overheard that he wanted to kill these dogs if he couldn't sell them. So basically what had happened was his daughter's dog had somehow had sex with somebody else's dog, and they ended up having puppies. He didn't obviously want 4 or 5 dogs running around his house, so he said, whatever I can't sell, I'm going to drown. I'm just going to put them in a bag and I'm going to lob them in the water. I can't even tell you the frustration and the anger that went through my body in that moment. And I can remember, I can't remember if it was me first or whether it was one of our group first, but we heard this and we were like, what are you talking about? And he was obviously drunk, and he said, whatever I don't sell tonight, I'm drowning. And we said, well, we'll fucking follow you home and make sure that that doesn't happen, you know. But really, what's that going to do? Because he could drown them the next day, he could abuse them the following night, the same night, you know. So we said, which killed us really inside, what do we need to give you in order to stop that from happening? Which is just an insane thing to say and do, because we're kind of buying that attitude and that way of life, and it didn't sit well with me for a long time. And he said, I want £50 per dog. And at the time, I think somebody in the front of the bar had brought one, and there was 2 left, and there was us and there was my cousin. And you shouldn't reward that kind of behaviour because it's absolutely insane. But what do? You know, there's no way I could have gone home knowing that I had a chance to save an animal and I didn't. So begrudgingly, we purchased the 2 dogs. One went to my cousin. They had like loads of space. They had like not a farm, but land, and the dog lived out a great life. I think it became a working dog. Again, I don't know how I feel about that, but it was certainly a better existence than what that gentleman was going to want. I don't even know why I called him a gentleman. He was an absolute sausage. He was a prick. And we took Roxy home, which was ours. and she had a fantastic life with us. You know, we did everything with her. We took her to the beach. We did, you know, and I absolutely adored that dog too. I can't even tell you how much. But she was the runt of the litter. So her back legs didn't work from the start. When I say didn't work, they weren't as functional, so they used to click and stuff, and we spent a lot of money taking her to the vets and stuff, and they said we can't do a great deal with her, but you know, any life that you can give her is better than not. So yeah, I don't know, I loved her to bits, you know, and she lasted like 12 years. You know, maybe it was 11, it was a few years ago. So anyway, this is what I keep on me now. So this is something that my wife brought me a few years ago. So don't know if you can see, that's when she passed, 30th of the 3rd 2001. Roxy. And yeah, you know, I loved her to bits. I just think that I have a real, you know, a real soft spot for injustice. You know, I think that we all have one shot at life, and it should be respected and appreciated. You know, and that's a reason that I don't. I know this will probably throw up some things in the comments, but that's the reason that I choose not to eat animals. That's the reason that I choose to be vegan, you know. So, but yeah, so we had that. Pixie passed last year. So this is full of ashes, by the way. It's full of ashes. I keep that around me. I need to find something now that can hold two sets of ashes, because I have Pixie. I want to maybe turn some of the ashes into a ring or something like that. I want every animal that I have to be in some way a part of me. It might be a tattoo, it might be ring, it might be this, it might be I don't know. But yeah, so after Pixie we had so after Roxy we had Roxy, then we had Pixie. Pixie wasn't from a breeder. Well, she was from so this is where it goes a little bit south. This was from a breeder, but it was from an awful breeder. So we chose to contact the authorities to shut this breeder down, but we had to take an animal in order to get the footage of the house and things, because basically when you walked into the house, it was literally just cages. It was only like I don't know, like a 2 up 2 down. It was such a small house, but it was just cages, bum 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 bum, and there was like parrots, iguanas, dogs, cats, loads of animals. Like, we never actually got out to the back, but I can only imagine what that was like. It was crazy. The whole house, it stunk beyond. The smell was incomprehensible. It was horrible. And there was just animals stacked everywhere. You could tell within a millisecond that this was just an animal exploitation operation. They didn't give two hoots about the animals. It was top to floor with cages or tanks or whatever, animals in the kitchen. I don't know, it was crazy. And we'd already received information that that's what it was. But then when I seen this one little dog, you know, it's almost like we had to take one in order to try and alert the authorities about the others. So we took Pixie, and And like I say, is we had like little cameras and stuff, and we, you know, did our thing and sorted that out. But what became of it, I'm not sure. Hopefully they were forced to stop trading, but who knows. But we did save one animal from that, and it was a long-haired Chihuahua, and it was Pixie, and we named her Pixie, and she did 12 years with us, and God, I loved her. God, she was amazing, you know. And she got on so well with Roxy, and I can remember when Roxy passed. So Roxy had like, well, she had loads of medical issues. It was crazy, like loads of heart murmurs and stuff like that. She was always on borrowed time, but she still made to like 12 years, which is crazy. And she actually died in my arms, which, you know, it is a standout moment in my life. You know, 42 years of life, and that is, you know, something that I still think about, you know, or if I'm reminded of it, you know, I still get upset about, which nearly happened just. Yeah, I mean, what do? You just try and be as good to them as you can, right? And give them the best experience possible. And now we have Chester. Ches, can you see him? Is this, you alright? He was almost asleep. So Chester. So we had Roxy from a pub. We had Pixie from a breeder's house, a horrible breeder's house that we obviously tried to shut down. And we had Chester from what do you call it? It was a rescue place. It's one not too far from us. But the dogs go in like a halfway home, so like people can adopt them for a short time, and then when they've found a proper home, someone that wants to take them forever, which was us, we did do. And I can always remember how I got Chester, because I was so upset about Roxy, because I really did love Roxy, and obviously Chester's black as well, so I'll put up some pictures if I can of Chester and Roxy, completely different in size. One's like this, one's like this, but very similar looking. And yeah, Kate paid to rescue that dog, so you have to pay to rescue dogs in the UK. And it was close to Christmas, and I was like, part of my it's like part of my Christmas present, yeah. But what a gift. I can remember she took me on a walk down to our local park. And I just heard this dog going crazy, yeah, because that was Chester, because it was obviously, 1 second, fuck's sake. Right, okay. Because he was so anxious. So I didn't think nothing of that. I just thought it was another dog barking, but it ended up being, okay. But it ended up being the owners, sorry, not the owners, the people that were looking after Chester. And anyway, long story short, when Kate told me that was, oh God, Sorry, I'm being silly. Oh god, fucking hell. God. Okay, I'll cut that out because that's just stupid. But anyway, long story short, we got Chester. It's the, you know, best present I've ever had. I love him to bits. And yeah, and now he just lives and exists. Hopefully living his best life, I hope. You coming? Or are you too chilly? You chilling? Come on! On treat. Oh yeah. Yeah, I suppose I better go and get him a treat now. I've promised him one, right? Yeah, so that's my story in terms of rescues. I think that because I'm a single man now, it's very difficult for me to rescue anymore. It's even difficult for me to work with him. So I don't really know what the future holds. I do have supportive parents that can take him, so I don't think work's going to be a problem. And then when I meet somebody, you know, in the future, we'll just work out and we'll do what we need to do. But I encourage every single human being to not support breeders. You know, these animals are suffering. You know, I mean, I don't want to go down the vegan route, but it's the reason that I am vegan. You know, I don't want to cause any harm, discomfort, exploitation to anybody, humans and animals. You know, so that's how I want to live my life, and I encourage, you know, everybody to do the same. But we are who we are, right? So yeah, a bit of an emotional one, but I can't talk about animals without getting emotional. I'm sorry, it's just the way that it is for me. Yeah, so I will, every animal that I come across in the future, if they enter this house, they will become a rescue of mine. I plan on rescuing as many animals as humanly possible in the future. I just, you know, I have to sort out my own kind of problems first, you know. But yeah, that's the life I would like to live, and we'll see if we get there. So yeah, cool, right? Well, boring, I don't know, but either way, that's what it is. All right, I'll see you in the next one.